Okay, good morning everyone. This is the training, the buckets training, the RSVP training, and the 80-20 rule training. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. Can you guys see that? It says RSVP?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Beachbody hours. Beachbody hours are so important to have. You need to seriously think of yourself as a business, like a cute little boutique shop on the corner of the state street in your main street in your community. And that's what you are, is you are an actual business. So it's so important to set your Beachbody business hours. When are you working Beachbody? Seriously sit down one day and think to yourself, okay, I work Beachbody in the morning from this time to this time. Then I work on it in the afternoon from this time to this time, and maybe at night again from this time to this time. Write down your hours. Let people know. Seriously, post it on your Facebook page. Let your coaches know and say, hey, these are when I work Beachbody hours, and this is when I could get back to you. Or if you have questions, this is when I'll get back to you. It's within my Beachbody hours. And what's going to happen with that is, honestly, I think your coaches are going to totally respect that. And it's going to be something that's kind of sexy to throw out there too. Beachbody has so many perks, and this is one of them, is that you can create your own schedule. And coaches are going to love that, because then they're going to say, hey, I can create my own schedule too. This doesn't need to be a 24/7 job. You should not be answering back emails at 2 o'clock in the morning. I have coaches saying that all the time, that they're like, I'm working this so much, like midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I have coaches calling me. Like, no, this is the end of all that. Set your hours and let your team know your hours. So important. Okay, so we set our Beachbody hours, and we're going to keep talking about our Beachbody hours, but what should we be doing within our Beachbody hours? And this is kind of just something to remember. It's RSVP. So R is for recruiting, S is for sales, V is very people, and P is performers. So recruiting. Recruiting is kind of a scary word, I think. It's kind of salesy, and we're not salesy here. We're actually here to change people's lives, which is so great about Beachbody. So we're going to say, like, inviting people to the coaching opportunity. You won't know until you ask. You have to just ask. Worst comes to worst, they say no, and you say, okay, I'll follow up with you in a couple months, right? So you have to just ask. So really sit down and think about your recruiting. What is your goal? 2 to 5 coaches a month is a good goal to start raking bouncing your business every single month. So that's a goal that I would definitely give to you guys if you want to make that as your own, is try to get 2 to 5 coaches a month. So top coaches say that every 25 coaches you invite, or every 25 people you invite to the opportunity, 5 people will listen and 1 person will say yes. So if you want 2 to 5 coaches a month, start really thinking about how many people you need to invite. Like I said, every 25 people you invite, 5 people will listen and 1 will say yes. So if you're going to give yourself a push and you want that push, try it for a week. Try for 7 days. Every single day, you're going to invite 25 people to the coaching opportunity. Out of that, 5 people will say yes. 1 person will, 5 people listen. 1 person will say yes. How cool would that be if you could get 7 coaches in 1 week, if you truly, truly stuck to this and truly, truly tried? Now, I'm not saying you have to do that every single day, because I get that that's a lot. But it's just something to kind of challenge yourself too, to see if that's even possible. Okay, sales. What is your goal? Is Success Club 5 the minimum? Is that something that you strive for? But definitely always strive for Success Club 10 as a target. If you ask your team to hit Success Club 5 every month, you should be trying so hard to make sure you're hitting Success Club 6. So whatever you're asking your team to do, make sure you're doing that, plus just a little bit more if you can. So that's when it goes back to your inviting. Like, keep inviting constantly, keep getting that Success Club goals. That's how you're going to get the volume in this business and grow your business, is by hitting Success Club. Consistency is key. Make sure every single day within your Beachbody hours, you're staying consistent with your inviting, your follow-ups, your challenge groups, everything you possibly can do in that day to stay consistent as possible. Very new people. So obviously use a Coach Basics program. If you don't have one, there's one in the back office by Kim Carver. That's really good. I've heard really, really good reviews about that one. If not, I'm sure your upline has really good Coach Basics you can tap into, but always have something, at the end of your challenge group. What are you going to do with all these challengers? You kind of want to get them signed up and then move to the Coach Basics program, kind of like an easy flowing thing. This one's my favorite, is treat all new coaches as potential top coaches. Who here started up as a discount coach? Anybody? Okay, exactly. So if you weren't treated good as being a discount coach, you guys probably wouldn't have continued on to become diamonds and one-star diamonds. Probably not, though. So your upline was doing something so great. They were treating all their coaches as potential top coaches. So make sure that is so important. Your discount coaches, people who tell you no 100 times that they're just going to be discount coaches and that's it, still treat them as your next 15-star top coach. And then business guidance, duplicate yourself. What's working for you? Seriously, write down your whole day. And I tell coaches to do this all the time. Write down every step you take in a day. What's working and what can you throw out? Concentrate on that and then give some business guidance to your downline. And performers. Help your team set goals. That's so important. Try to hold each other accountable as much as possible. For my mastermind calls, what I do is at the end of each call, I tell everyone to give me their 2-week goals. And then at the beginning of the next call, I hold everyone accountable. Do that with your calls. If you're scheduling Zoom calls or team meetings or something like that, definitely try to hold each other accountable. Schedule your one-on-ones or getting started right calls or getting to know you calls. Have them present on team calls as well. If you have a rock star coach that's growing, give them the leadership and have them start presenting on your team calls. And then plan team events. Like a lot of you guys were on Nikki's team retreat. That's amazing. It's so fun. Start thinking of little things that you could do for your coaches too. If your team's local to you, once a month, go out to dinner, go out to lunch, make it fun. If they're not, do something like that, like an event over Zoom. I have a lot of coaches that do wine and cheese nights on Thursday nights with their team, and they sit and drink a glass of wine and chit chat. Or a pajama party, like everyone come in your pajamas, or a family party. Have your family on the Zoom. Introduce your kids, show them other kids, like make it engaging. Okay, so we talked a little bit about like RSVP, kind of some steps you want to take within your Beachbody hours. So we have to sit and think, okay, so we kind of know what to do. What time of day should we spend on our business and what time of day should we spend on our coaches? So we sat down with Brigitte Linford. She's a 15-star Diamond Elite coach. So we asked her, break down your day and what do you do? And this is kind of what I just said to you guys, like write down every step you do in a day. Let's see where it's at. So as a 15-star, her typical day is to work her first half of her day on her business. She focuses on recruiting. She focuses on leading by example. She focuses on her hitting Success Club 10. Brigitte would never tell her coaches to hit Success Club 10 if she wasn't hitting Success Club 10, right? So it's something so important to make sure you're working on your business. She does her social media posts. She does her invites for messages. Her managing her groups, her 10-day clean eating groups, her coaching group, and everything like that. The second half of their day, she works with her team to help them reach their goals. She works on her team Facebook group. She runs her Coach Basics program. She runs her Emerald to Diamond groups, her one-on-one calls, her team conference calls. So that's what she does. She's a 15-star coach. So we sit back and we're like, okay, we know what Brigitte does, but we're not quite 15-star yet. We will, but we're not yet. So where should we be as diamonds and 1-stars? And we're just going to go to this. So as a diamond to about 2-star, you want to be 80-20. So 80% on our business and our business alone. Make sure you're hitting Success Club. Make sure you're leading by example, your Facebook posts, your invites, you're managing your groups. 80% of your Beachbody hours. And then 20% is when you're going to be wanting to help your coaches hit their goals. Run your team pages, do your team calls, your PS groups, your Emerald to Diamond groups. So 80-20. Okay, so now we kind of know where we're supposed to be at, 80-20 with our business. So now it kind of goes to the buckets training. I'm going to stop sharing so I can share this. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is we're gonna do a buckets training, and we're gonna this is gonna be a call to action. So it's something I definitely want you guys to do. So we're gonna break down our day. So we wrote down everything we do with Beachbody hours. So now it's kind of time to break down your day. Let's find out when you can work Beachbody and actually dive into work it. So we're gonna break up our day into 5 categories. And here's kind of an example of ours. So I guess it's kind of backwards when you guys see it, or I don't, yeah. So families first, and always prioritize them. Like what's the most important thing to you in a day? So mine is family. Family is very important to me. And then it's personal. You need to have your personal time. And then work. And then education. And then service. Let me hold on really fast. I'm going to mute you guys. Okay. So yeah, so here's kind of an example of mine, and this is what I definitely want you guys to do, is create little buckets. So see how there's dividers between each of my buckets? It's because you don't really want the time to run over to another bucket. So if you're working, you're working your Beachbody hours right here. You have your set hours, and we'll go over those set hours in just a minute. But when you're working it, you need to really sit down and work it. Clear your schedule. Make sure that you're not getting interrupted. I know it's hard when we have kids and people, family home and stuff like that, but that's probably because you haven't set your hours and you're always working Beachbody. So if you can really narrow it down to 1 hour a day, make sure that 1 hour is non-interrupted, because then you have your family time here. You're going to have your family time scheduled. And when you're doing your family time, make sure nothing else, that's what these dividers are for, nothing else is getting in your way. If you get a message or a phone call or something like that with Beachbody, no, it's not your time, right? You'll get back to them when it's your Beachbody hours. So definitely start structurizing your day to when you're doing something, you're doing that only. So let's kind of dive into these. So family, obviously it's time to, be with your family, go to your kids' soccer games, go on a date with your husband, watch a movie. Like when's the last time we were able to sit down and watch a movie with our family without our phones in our hands and our phones going off on us on Facebook all the time? I know my husband's like, get off your phone like every single night, right? And it's such a habit, and it's just so easy because it's always right there. But let's just try to really focus on our family, because I guarantee if you do it with your family, your hours, then your Beachbody hours are going to be able to be a lot more easier. So that's what I have. So I schedule 3 hours for my family. I work full time. I work at corporate, so I have to work 8 hours. And with traveling and stuff like that, it's like 9 hours because I travel a little bit here. So 3 hours. So then it's my personal. You can put your PD in here. You could put your workouts in here. You can do anything that's important time for you. I do the Miracle Morning every morning. So I get up an hour before I'm supposed to do anything and just really focus on myself. I journal, I meditate, I do affirmations, I visualize. That's when I do my workout, and that's when I do my PD as well. So I have about 2 hours as my personal. And then work for me is 8 hours because I work at corporate. So if yours is, 3 hours a day, make sure you're just really working on those 3 hours. Set a timer. I'll have a lot of coaches that put a timer on their phone and say, okay, I have 2 hours to work my Beachbody today. I'm going to spend the first half hour on inviting. So they set their timer on their phone for 30 minutes and then just constantly invite. Put the blinders on and just invite for those 30 minutes. And when that timer goes off, then they'll move to follow-up. 30 minutes follow-up, put the blinders on, and that's exactly what they do. So that's your work. So you can divide your work into 2 buckets if you want, and if you want to do the first or some part of your bucket on the 80-20, so 80% on your business and 20% on your coaches. That's a great way to do a timer as well. If you're going to work 2 hours on your Beachbody business, then I would schedule an hour and 20 minutes, and that's just you. And then when the timer goes off, then you can schedule the other 40 minutes for your coaches, or I guess it's a little bit more like an hour and a half on your business and then a half hour on your coaches. Set a timer and make sure you're actually doing that 80-20. Education. I'm always about educating myself in the business and stuff like that. I think that's a good time if you can schedule it to really, you know, dive in, like watch some videos. There's so many great YouTube videos about coaching or recruiting. My newest favorite video, if you guys haven't watched it yet, it's Raina Odell and Bonnie Engel talking about recruiting. It is amazing. Like, I love it. So set some time just to educate yourself. Like, what can you learn that day? What can you, how can you keep bettering yourself? And then service. I have service scheduled in mine just, to help other people if I can, church activities, community activities, whatever those are for your day. Make sure you schedule some time in for those as well. But definitely, if you draw the lines in your buckets, your time will definitely be more effective and more pure. You'll be definitely working in those buckets, and you'll be pure because you'll know this is what you're doing. So, yeah, that's like my call to action today. And I would love, since we have this little message group going on, if you guys were to send me your buckets. I want to see them. If it's not a picture, just write them down. Work, how many hours are you going to do at work? Family, how many hours are you going to do at your family? I would love to see them, so that's definitely going to be kind of your call to action. And keep me posted on how it goes. Do any of you guys have any questions? I did put you all on mute, so you'll have to take yourself off mute. But any questions at all? Or raise your hand and I can take you off mute. Nothing. Okay. Well, God, thank you guys so much for joining me. Did that make sense? Did it help a little bit? Okay. So I would love, love, love to see your buckets. Post them on our message thread, and I'll also post this recording if you need to go back and see anything that I talked about. But if you have any questions at all, let me know. I'll put you guys in my Push to One Star group. It's just my group after the New Diamond training, so I won't make you go through that, but we'll just do the Push to One Star, and they're great as well. So be looking out for me there. But if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye-bye.